Rob, we've seen Pinarello this morning. Geez, he looks great. You've dolled him up, but geez, he's got a real sheen to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He's come back in good order. He sort of never really lost his summer coat from Queensland, and no, he's really thrived since he's been back in work.
Okay, yeah, we have seen him at the trials, and you couldn't have hoped for much more at the trials, could you?
Yeah, absolutely. We were very happy with him heading into the trials, but he probably still trialled above expectation. He sort of went up on the bridle to some pretty classy sprinters, which was really good to see, and Vinny was extremely happy with him.
Okay, when we last saw him, he was winning a Group 1 in Queensland. Can you just tell us how he's come back from that preparation?
Yeah, absolutely. He was super in winning that race, and I think, as a lot of these horses that travel away, it's been a real coming of age for him. He's just such a gentleman around the stable now. A boy turned into a man, and hopefully we can see it in his races this time.
One thing, you haven't been too ambitious with your preparation. You've been ambitious enough to sort of basically chalk up a Sydney preparation, but you've just seemed to play the patient game. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. He, being a Derby winner, he gets a run in the Melbourne and Caulfield and Melbourne Cups, but look, he had an extremely large 3-year-old year, and to have him at those races, he would have had to be running prior to this, and it just would have been a lot of pressure on the horse. So we've found what we believe is a pretty nice program for him. It's 5 weeks, and he'll be back in New Zealand by November 1st. So he should be able to have a good break before the autumn, and then hopefully next spring we can have a real crack at maybe some of those bigger races.
Okay, just talk us through that preparation. What's the first step?
So he flies from here on the 18th on Sunday. He'll run at Rosehill in the Shannon Stakes over 1,500 metres on the 24th. Then he has 3 weeks to the Craven Plate at Ramwick over 1,800 metres worth 750,000, and then 2 weeks to the Rosehill Gold Cup, also worth 750,000 for over 2,000 metres. So we believe it's a nice preparation for him, and he should be competitive, especially in those last two.
Yeah, so you go over there with a bit of expectation that he'll measure up really well as a 4-year-old in the spring.
Yeah, I think off his trial you'd like to think he would, and then with the Dark Destroyer form coming through in the Tarzino, it certainly gives a little bit of confidence. But look, he's got to take that step forward, but we're pretty confident he's going well, and that he will.
Okay, one other thing about him, we will be looking towards a spring preparation in Melbourne this time next year, but what will you do with him in the autumn? How light will that be?
Yeah, we'd like to think next spring we can have a real crack at some of those high-class Group 1s, but there's a lot of water to go under the bridge, and he's got to put his hand up and want to be there. At this stage we're very happy for the autumn. Perhaps we might try and get over for something like a Tancred in Sydney, and maybe a Sydney Cup. That would be doubtful, but there's a lot of races around in the autumn over there, and we'll just see how the spring goes and regroup after that. But really excited with the way he's come up, and looking forward to see him have his first run over there.
I'm just going to say that, especially seeing him here in the flesh today and seeing how good he looks, it must be a time that's getting you a bit amped for the spring.
Yeah, exactly, and especially as the weather hopefully starts to get a bit better, we can start getting a few of these nicer horses out and have a bit of fun. It's always very frustrating at this time of the year when the tracks are all wet, but there's light at the end of the tunnel.